some effects on my piece here. I have something called a gradient map, and let's take these extras off of here. So this is my collage just as it would be put together here. And remember, you can adjust individual sections of your collage. So like if I wanted the shield to be black and white in the background down here, I would select the shield layer. I would right click on the layer mask and I would say add mask to selection. So that way it automatically just selects that one area. I don't have to reselect it. I go to the black and white cookie. I say hue and saturation. There we go. And then I dial down the saturation for this particular piece here. And it makes it either brighter or more gray or more black and white. You can also adjust the hue or the color of it if you want to transform the colors a little bit, though I think Captain America would be pretty sad if we changed the colors of the shield. And then you can always do lightness and things as well. So you can see over here in this corner where hue and saturation is here, that was the background copy, and you can see that the layer mask exactly represents that same layer mask. So you don't have to remask each one. So that's a way to do an individual adjustment. So like if something is too bright or not bright enough and you want to create emphasis, you can adjust each one here by, again, right-clicking, adding mask to selection. You can see I get those little marching ants here, and then I can use any of these commands here at the bottom. So I see one here at the bottom, it's called gradient map. We're going to do something here now, Command D or select, deselects those marching ants because I want to affect the whole picture here. I'm going to go to the top of my tower here, and I'm going to throw this away for you guys and just put a new one up there. So what you can do is you can, here, let me bring this down here for color balance so those are lined up, is I go to the very top of my stack up here, and I'm going to add a whole layer. I'm not going to layer mask anything. I'm just going to go to the black and white cookie, and I'm going to say gradient map. All right, and what gradient map does is it throws this color scheme here, right, on top of your whole project. And a lot of times what people do with this is they do it to up the contrast of their image. So this is black and white, but you can see some of the different effects here that we have depending on what you selected here. All right, so you can just select a color. If you want to adjust some colors here, if I just click on this bar, I can select different colors here. I have a selector. I can make a custom color if I want to. All sorts of things like that. I can click here and put another random color in here. Double click on that. There we go, something like that. So again, you can use some of the existing ones, some of these classics up here. I'm making my own here, which is fine. I'm going to say OK. So that's step one. Obviously, this is pretty severe. So if I go back to my layers, I can do a couple things. One is I can just turn down the opacity of this layer. Right, and that gives me sort of this, that Instagram-y light feel to it here. But also this drop-down menu next to opacity is the layer properties itself. So right now it's just normal. Dissolve makes it become sort of pixelated, but then you can sort of see how, and I'm not going to explain each and every one of these because it'll take forever, but you can see how by selecting a different effect here, color dodge is really cool, or linear dodge with this, allows you to just add a little bit, I kind of like that soft light, allows you to add an effect, right? And again, when you see some of those titles in Instagram, the different filters that they have, that is one way to create a different filter. And the nice thing about this too is, again, if I click on this little guy here, double click on it, I can change this up anytime. It's non-destructive, so I can try out all sorts of different colors if I want to. All right, that one's sort of interesting here. Some metallics, just like that. That's kind of interesting. All right, so there you go. So, and then remember, the other thing about this too is that it's a layer mask, right? So if I click on this background here, I can use my black paintbrush. It's black here. I'm going to use a very soft paintbrush. Hardness is way down here to 0. Let's go 0%. And then the opacity of my brush here, I'm going to turn down a little bit, make the brush a little bigger. And I can remove some of that coloring here by just clearing the mask, right? And I may or may not want to do that. It depends what I'm trying to do. But I can sometimes create a point of focus by, shifting that layer mask in the background a little bit. So there you go. So that's step one.